A fun football-filled weekend across the Commonwealth of Virginia, a bit of a wet and wild one as well. Mother Nature certainly put her stamp on this week. To kick things off, the Virginia Tech Hokies hosted the Purdue Boilermakers out of the Big Ten. Orange effect conditions in Blacksburg. An inclement weather delay was called during the pregame with kickoff delayed by roughly 15 minutes. Just a few minutes off schedule, no big deal, right? Wrong. The Boilermakers marched down the field on their opening drive, then Devin Mockabee punched it in from 21 yards out. That Purdue running game would prove to be a difference maker. Purdue would get the ball back, and in the midst of their second drive with less than 6 minutes remaining in the first, another weather delay with spectators told to take shelter. To quote Forrest Gump, one day it started raining. Deluge season came to Blacksburg. The game would resume over 5.5 hours later. Game day personnel, fans, and teams of both parties deserve a special shout out for sticking it out and still putting the game on. 6:15 the official time the game would resume. Purdue, following a pick, would kick a field goal, and later Tyrone Tracy Jr. added a 21-yard touchdown scamper of his own. All of a sudden, 17-0 in favor of the visitors. The Hokies were resilient, however. Bashaw Tootin on fourth down, a 30-yard catch and run for the score. Next Boilermaker possession, Tech would come up with a fourth down stop to add a field goal of their own. Another stalled Purdue drive later, and Grant Wells found Jalen Lane for the touchdown pass, and we got ourselves a tie game. Second half was a Big Ten taffy pull, though. The Hokies were never really able to get back the advantage on offense. Jump ahead to the fourth, Hudson Card strikes with his feet and gets in to give Purdue back the lead. The Hokies couldn't complete the comeback. They fall 24-17. They're on the road next week against Rutgers. Heading up the road for an emotional day in Charlottesville. First home game for the Cavaliers after the tragic shooting last year. They welcomed in the James Madison Dukes. It was the Dukes early and often. Taji Hudson with the strike to Phoenix Sproles on some trickeration. Then a blocked punt and recovered for a touchdown by D'Angelo Pons just like that, and it was 14-0. Tony Muskett out for Virginia. They turned a true freshman, Andrew Colandrea, who found Malik Washington for a 63-yard score. First of two on the day for Colandrea. Then after a Dukes field goal, Mike Hollins got the rock. A lot of touchdowns in this one, but none bigger and more heartfelt than that one. Colandrea then hit Kobe Pace, who took it for the 75-yard house call. The Cavs take their first lead 21-17. Not the last of Kobe Pace. He would take it in on the ground to make it 28-17 Cavs. Later on, both teams exchanged rushing touchdowns. Tyson Lawton for the Dukes and Mike Hollins with his second of the day for Virginia. 35-24 in favor of the home side, but then a 73-minute delay put the game on hold. The Dukes answered the call. Back-to-back 80-yard drives. Tyson Lawton took it in one more time from 27 away. Madison got it back and marched right down yet again. Jordan McLeod connected with Kalen Black. McLeod finished his day with 224 and that score. James Madison gets the win against in-state foe Virginia. Dukes improved to 2-0 while the Cavs dropped to 0-2. Good news for UVA, however, they may have found their quarterback of the future in Andrew Colandrea. They are in College Park to face Maryland next week, while JMU is down in Alabama to face Troy. Finally, back to the Valley in Lynchburg. The Liberty Flames in their Conference USA opener hosting the New Mexico State Aggies. It was a back-and-forth first half. The Aggies drew first blood with Jamani Jones taking it in on the ground for a 10-yard score. The Flames responded in kind with Caden Salter airing it out for 40 yards to C.J. Daniels' 7-all ball game after one. After an Aggies field goal, Salter said, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and took it in on the ground. Extra point was blocked, though. Diego Pavia, the quarterback for New Mexico State, found Trent Hudson from 13 yards out to put the Aggies back in front. Flames not feeling the heat. Time for another sprinkling of salt. Bentley Hanshaw, the recipient on the next go-around on a 24-yard toss from Salter. Liberty would tack on a field goal following an interception to head into the locker room up 23-17. The Aggies would turn it over twice in the third quarter. Caden Salter took it in himself yet again. Ford touchdown day for the sophomore. The Flames defense put their foot down in the second half. 33-17 the final as Liberty advances to 2-0. Liberty, like the Hokies, Hoos, and Dukes, is on the road as well next week. They will be going against the Buffalo Bulls. Now to go over some in-state FCS scores. William & Mary knocked off Wofford at home 23-6. They're at Charleston Southern next week, who, keep in mind, had an interesting first half against Clemson, gave the Tigers a bit of a scare. Richmond traveled north and did not fare well against the Michigan State Spartans, a 45-14 loss. The Spiders up next look to spin a web at home against the Delaware State Hornets. Norfolk State and Hampton with an in-state battle. The Spartans get the victory 31-23. They'll head to Philly to go against the Temple Owls, while Hampton is in D.C. to go against Howard. Finally, VMI on the road against Bucknell, 21-13. The Keydets have an ACC battle coming up with North Carolina State. That just about covers it. I'm Aiden Butler. Thanks for listening in. We'll be back with more Virginia college football this time next week.